Welcome to SolidCAM Professor. I'm Sydney, your SolidCAM Professor, with one of many videos available to you 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. In this recording, we'll demonstrate the use of HSS to machine out some of the surfaces that we have on the part as shown on the screen. The surfaces will include these areas around over here, as well as this surface, the fillets along the bottom over here, and we even have a small fillet around this area over here. First, I'd like to work on these surfaces over here. Now, to do that properly, I'd like to actually do a morph machining on the surface between the surfaces above it and the surfaces below it. So if I go into my first operation, you'll see that I've used the option of morph between two adjacent surfaces. If I take a look at my geometry, you'll see my drive surface are these surfaces over here, and my start edge surfaces starts off from the one on top, this filleted area over there, and my end edge surface are the surfaces that are touching those surfaces at the bottom. Now, the end mill that I will be using in this particular case will be a 10 millimeter ball end mill. Now, let's take a look at our simulation. What you'll see is as follows. The tool will work its way on the surface and it'll change its shape to make a nice evenly dispersed tool path along that surface as shown over here. Now, in our next two operations, we'll be working on this fillet above over here, as well as this fillet on the bottom. Now, to do this, we've used the option of morphed between two boundaries. Let's take a look at the second one, actually, which does the bottom area over here. You'll see that we have our geometry where our drive surface is the actual fillet itself, all these surfaces over here, and the start edge curve, the first one being the one on top, and the second one being the one on the bottom. And as you can see, we are using morph between two curves. Again, we'll be using the same end mill that we used before, the 10 millimeter ball end mill. Let's take a quick look at the simulation, and you can see again that's going to be working exactly on that fillet, very similar to the way it worked on the surface on top over there, machining it out nicely and evenly between the two boundary areas. Now, besides these two fillets, our next operation that we have over here actually did the exact same thing, but this time on this chamfer area. Quickly looking at the tool path, you can see that it did those areas as well. Now, in our next operation, I'd like to work on this surface over here, and I've used the option of parallel to curve. If we go into the operation itself, you can see that my geometry is this surface that I've mentioned before, and the curve in this particular case is this area over here. It'll work parallel to that area. Now, what's going to actually happen is that the tool has to go from one side to the other as it's going parallel to that curve. So in order to keep the tool down, what we've done is as follows. If I go to my link and I open up the links area, you'll see we have gaps. Now, my gaps along large is set to go directly to the next side. In addition to this, I've also added the option of using a lead in and out, which will be of a vertical tangent. Let's take a look at the simulation, and you can see as follows. The tool will go down, and as it starts working, it'll work along these areas over here, back and forth. And if I zoom in here, you can see that as it left one area to go to the next, had a tangent arc going vertical, and at the same time on the other side, when it came down, it did the exact same thing. For more videos on SolidCAM Professor, please go to our website, www.solidcam.com, and look for our Professor tab. Take care and have a nice day.